6478. People are moving to dismiss count 2 and withdrawing notice to enhance sentence habitual offender for offense notice. And finally, in docket number 6461, people are moving to dismiss counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And hold on, that one's not right, Judge.
What file are you looking at, Ms. Ripley?
6461. I have it right here. Yeah, it's count 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. He pled to count 3 and withdraw the habitual offender for defense notice.
That was it, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. To defense, I presume no objection.
No, that is correct.
All right, those counts and enhancements will be dismissed and or withdrawn consistent with the agreements. Mr. Butts, you do have some appellate rights in counsel. Has he been afforded with an appellate rights form?
He has been to assign.
And did we give him an appellate rights form for each one of his files?
Yes.
Great. All right, for purposes of the record, Mr. Butts, because you entered pleas with regard to your 6 cases, you would have 42 days to file an application requesting leave to appeal your various convictions and sentences if you wanted to do that. Mr. Butts, if you wanted an attorney to assist you with those applications and you could not afford an attorney, you have to request an attorney within 42 days before we're going to appoint you an attorney, provide them with portions of the record and any transcripts needed to assist you with those applications. So, Mr. Butts, you will go with the sheriffs here today. They will make sure that you make your way back to the Wayne County Jail, and ultimately you will find your way to the appropriate Michigan Department of Corrections facility. That being noted, attorneys, is there anything additional for today's record?
Not for the people, Judge.
Not on behalf of Defense Judge.
All right, we're all going to exit this courtroom in an orderly fashion. You're going to listen to the sheriffs in Brown. They're going to direct traffic with regard to getting out. What I would say is don't move until you're directed to move. Thank you. That'll conclude the record.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
So there's an update, a final update in the Nazar Harris case. All right, so if you don't know who this beautiful lady on this screen is, her name is Nazar Harris. She was 13 years old back in 2024, and she disappeared January 9th, 2024. She was several months pregnant with Jarvis Butts' baby, okay? So, a little background on this case. So, back in 2022, when Nazar Harris was 11 years old, Jarvis Butts began sending sexual text messages and photos to Nazara. Okay, that's when he started grooming her. But it really got ahead when Jarvis was dating Shannon, Nazara's aunt. And then that's when he started really sexually assaulting Nazara. Okay. So when they were doing preliminary hearings back in 2025, her 9-year-old cousin at the time said that she saw Jarvis having sex with Nazara in his auto body shop. And then he asked her, the cousin, if she wanted to have sex with him, and she said no. Okay, so she said no. So now, fast forward to 2023, Zahara's pregnant, right? So Zahara's pregnant, and Jarvis is looking for ways to abort this baby. So he's looking up abortions, abortion pills, and drinking red, what is it? Red antifreeze. Yeah, there we go. Red antifreeze. So I guess none of this worked in Jarvis's favor. So he resorted to unaliving Nazara. I'm sorry, Nazara. Okay. So they did a whole search in the woods for days. They found her jacket and her shoes, but there was no sign of Nazara. Okay, so in February, when he, February 12th, Jarvis pled guilty to murder and several counts of essay on minors, right? And then now, fast forward March 12th at the hearing, several people uh, gave their testimonies in this hearing. Nazar Harris's grandmother, uh, Jarvis's sister Tawana, and a couple of minors who may be older or teenagers by this time that were victims gave testimonies at the hearing. So he was sentenced to 35 years for Nazara's unaliving. And then he got 10 to 15 years for the essay of the other 5 girls. And they have to run concurrent. And um, they have to run concurrent. But this is a plea deal. Because if he didn't take this plea deal, he would be facing first degree unaliving for Nazara. So he has to give up the location of this girl's body for this plea deal. But the family or nobody knows anything because the detectives don't want to put anything out. Ooh, oh my gosh. So he told he told the police that after unaliving Nazara, he threw her body in the Rogue River near 7 Mile, but her body has not been found in that river where he said that she was. Oh boy. So now that he has pled guilty to 4 counts of second-degree criminal essaying and 1 count of third-degree criminal assault conduct for the girls, he will not be eligible for parole unless he does the whole 35 years for the unaliving of Zahara. I mean, Nazara. And that would be until 2061 when that will happen, when he could be eligible for parole. And now he will be handed over to prison time. He will be doing his prison sentence at the Michigan Department of Corrections. Oh boy. I'm glad we got justice for this girl. This is what we needed. But it's just sad that um, they can't find her body anywhere. So I got clips from the trial, but I can't find the whole trial. So it's just family members speaking, and the longest video is the 16-minute video of the minor victim talking to Jarvis. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head.
You can have a seat or you can stand, however you're most comfortable. Again, that red illuminated device, it's a microphone and a recording device. Just try to direct your voice into that. And if you could just state and spell your name, please.
My name is Marquita Harris, Marketta. Last name Harris, Harris.
Thank you. And ma'am, you also have a prepared statement?
Yes.
If you wouldn't mind just providing a copy to the prosecutor's office for the court file following the hearing today, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. It has been 2 years, 2 months, 3 days since we heard, seen, or even physically touched Nazar. This has tremendously affected my family and I mentally, physically, and emotionally. Since this case started, we have been physically assaulted in public, cyberbullied, harassed, stalked, and so much more. I became homeless, lost several jobs in the past 2 years. My life, my family life, will never be the same as me. You have taken something so precious from us that we'll never give back. Every morning, every day, every month, and every dollar, I have to remind myself that my niece, Nazaya, isn't coming back. Our life will never be the same again. Justice is deserved. You're still able to live. You're still able to get health care. You're still able to breathe without any remorse. You are an habitual serial predator. You have taken my kid's favorite cousin. You have taken my first daughter before I had my own. I hate you. I wish nothing but the worst for you. I despise you. My children were removed from my care temporarily because of you. My children's behavior has changed because of you. You have gave the world a whole story to talk about, but today we're here to tell you how this made us feel. Justice will never be served going back to the house where Desire lived doesn't feel the same anymore. I don't sleep at all anymore. I recommend that the court give him the electric chair if that's what Michigan, if we had it. A life for a life. We will never know her last words. We will never know if she suffered in pain. I can't really say or express how I really feel to this whole tragic situation. Since January 9th, 2024 will be the day I'll never forget, the day that I got the call that she never came back home. I never live with myself. I never be able to hear her voice. I never be able to physically touch her. I never be able to see her smile. I never be able to. I'll never be able to get to hold her again. I'll never be able to get to listen to her, see her smile. I'll never get to see her tell me stories of what her day went on about school. I'll never get to have that chance ever again because of you. Hurts.
Okay, Mr. Makepeace, Ms. Ripley, who will be going next?
Judge, I believe next would be Ms. Butts.
And which file number? 218.
218.
It has been 2 years and 2 months since I reported this I am missing. I want you to know that my life will never be the same. My family's life will never be the same. Without Messiah, and every day that I wake up with her, I wake up feeling depressed. It's another day without her. I love her and I miss her dearly. I can't tell her that because her life was I can't tell her that because her life was taken from her. Words cannot express just how much me and my family really miss and love Messiah. This has impacted my life and my family's life. There are days when I can't, when I don't want to get out of bed. I wake up feeling depressed. I don't want to talk to anybody, to anyone, just getting out of bed. To do the basic everyday things that I miss, I'm sorry. I don't want to get out of bed. I wake up feeling depressed. I don't want to talk to anyone. Just getting out of bed to do the basic everyday things that I need to get done. This has affected my health. I am seeing more than one doctor about my health, including seeing a therapist. I don't feel safe in my home. My address and my phone number has been put on social media. People have been driving by, taking pictures of my home. I have been threatened. My family have been threatened. and my people doing, other people doing podcast shows, emailing me. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Take your time, man.
Anybody else wants to leave? There is a courtroom, 206 down the hall, you can observe this proceeding. You can't go inside.
And I don't come to my home. I just,
Let's step up. Too late. Let's go. Let's go. Now, in the red and in the black. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Please remain quiet. Quiet in the court!
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, wait. Right here.
All right, an additional reminder, if you're going to have difficulty controlling yourself, now would be a good time to leave. I'm sorry, were you through, ma'am?
No, Judge, I'm going to finish reading the written statement for you.
Very good. You can return to your seat, ma'am.
She says, Dear Honorable Judge, I stand before you today with deep resilience and determination. When I was just 4 years old, Mr. Jarvis Butts took away my childhood and shattered my sense of safety. Though I am still young, I have faced years of pain and trauma caused by his actions. Today I speak with truth of what he stole from me starting at 4 years old. 33 years cannot undo the harm he caused. By the time he is eligible for release, he will be in his 70s. Mr. Butts continues to show that his character is to abuse children, and in my truest heart, I believe he...
J-U-A-N-A. Last name B-U-T-T-S.
Do you have a prepared statement?
I do not, sir.
That's fine. Okay, thank you. Whenever you're ready.
I don't have a prepared statement because I had no plans to come here today. I've been battling with myself on what is the right thing to do, what is the wrong thing to do. I'm here today for Nasiah and for my nieces and the other victims that my brother has harmed. I woke this morning with every intention on going to work because the last 2 years I have to go back to that day when I saw a little girl that I did not know, that I had never seen. And I wish that there was a sign that she was okay, and I believe that she was someone else's niece. And I had no reason not to believe what my brother said to me. That day will forever punk me. Because I go back to like, why was I there? Why didn't I know? Why was there no sign? However, I'm a firm believer in God, and I do believe that sometimes we are put in places that we don't want to be in, even if we don't know why. And I feel like I was put there that day to be a voice for Desire and for every other child that my brother has harmed. I believe that Desires' story brought a lot of the other victims out to the forefront. And sitting in the courtroom today, there are many Messiahs, many other victims that are unfortunately being harmed right now at this moment. And people are turning a blind eye to it. People are not paying as a community in protecting our children from monsters, from the very people who are supposed to love them and protect them. I don't know why my brother has turned into the person that is in this courtroom today. This is not who I remember as a child. I remember a little boy that used to follow me everywhere, that always wanted to protect me, even though I'm older than him. My brother knows that I've been a victim of sexual assault. My brother knows that I've been molested at a very young age. And he knows the pain that caused. I can't understand why he would want to cause that to an innocent child. Not just his eye, but to his own children that have his face. I hope that every victim and my nieces and nephews can heal.
You were someone I called that until you did what you did. You took someone I really loved, someone I called sister, my favorite cousin, my best friend, my everything. You changed the way I dress, the way I think. You even changed my sexuality. You did very hurtful things to me. I didn't put the trouble you caused me. I no longer look at you as a father figure, no longer as a hero. But now I look at you as a monster. You caused me trauma. It made me look at me different.
Your Honor, she was completed. Thank you. All right, Ms. Ripley, and please, who's going next?
Judge, I don't believe that we have anyone left to make any more statements.
Okay.
Would you like us to speak now, or did you want us?
Well, again, Mr. Butts is here today to be sentenced for 6 different cases today. Mr. Butts entered guilty pleas on all 6 of his cases, and there's sentence agreements negotiated on each one of the 6 files. Of course, it goes without saying that the offenses that Mr. Butts Butts is here to be sentenced on of the most serious nature. Mr. Butts has a criminal history dating back to 1997. He spent time in Michigan Department of Corrections previously for a criminal sexual conduct conviction following a plea he entered in 2005. It's noteworthy that he was paroled sometime in 2012 and almost immediately returned to his criminal behaviors upon his parole. And Mr. Butts, I hope that you have truly listened to all of the people who spoke here in open court and the impact that your inexcusable and horrendous behaviors have had on the lives of so many people. Mr. Butts, you're going to have many years to sit and rub on your horrible actions. And it's often noted that justice is blind, but eventually, Mr. Butts, justice sees everything. And it's noted by both sides. These 6 cases are very complex with a lot of moving parts. And I know that the prosecutor's office and the defense team spent a lot of hours working in resolutions to these 6 matters. And I wanted to thank them for their efforts. I'm also hopeful that although the court could never make the victims of any of these crimes truly whole again, I'm hopeful that the lengthy prison sentence being imposed today is going to bring about some needed closure for all of the victims and their families so that they can begin the healing process. So I'll go case by case, Mr. Butts. I'm going to start with file 25000218018. And Mr. Butts, for the offense of homicide, murder, and second degree of Messiah Harris, the court is going to sentence you consistent with the sentence agreement 35 to 60 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. You're not to have any verbal, written, electronic, or physical contact with Annette Harris or any family members of Messiah Harris. It's either directly through yourself or through a third party that includes all forms of social media as well. You're not to be within 500 feet of the residence, school, or place of employment. I have to assess $130 for the time victim's assessment on that file. And I have to assess $68 state costs on that file as well. The determined condition of that sentence agreement is also to make a truthful statement regarding the location of the body of Messiah Harris. With regard to court costs and attorney's fees, I'll address that at the end once I've completed all of the files. Moving next into file 24002236018FH. Mr. Butts, for the offense of criminal sexual conduct in second degree, person under 13, defendant 17 or older, the court is going to sentence you consistent with the sentence agreement of 10 to 15 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. You are going to be required to complete sexual abuse prevention programming or other treatment when you're referred by your agent. You're going to be required to register under the Michigan Sex Offenders Registration Act and comply with all requirements of that act. You must provide a completed copy of the Michigan Sex Offenders Registration form to your field agent on your first in-person report following vacating your residence. Any address change, address verification, or change in your status with an institution of higher education. At each address change or verification period, you must present your Michigan driver's license or operator's license or personal identification card to the field agent at your first in-person contact. On that file, you're not to have any verbal, written, electronic, or physical contact with Michaela, M-I-K-A-Y-L-A Jackson, or any of her family members, either directly or through any other third party, again, including all forms of social media, not to be within 500 feet of the residence, school, or place of employment. Again, I'm required to assess $130 to the crime victim's rights assessment and the $68 state cost. It's also required lifetime electronic monitoring pursuant to MCL 750520. And then I'll address court costs and attorney's fees. Moving now to file number 24006232011FC. Mr. Butts, for the offense of criminal sexual conduct in second degree, person under 13, defendant 17 or older, the court will sentence you to 10 to 15 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. Again, you're going to be required to complete sexual abuse prevention programming or other treatment when you're referred by your field agent. You're going to be required to register under the Michigan Sex Offenders Registration Act, comply with all the requirements of the Act. provide a copy of the Michigan Sex Offenders Registration Form, your field agent, and your first in-person report following vacating residence, any address change, address verification, or change in your status with an institution of higher education. Each address change verification period, you must present your driver's license or state identification card to the agent of your first in-person contact. Okay, you're not to have any verbal, written, electronic, or physical contact with Paris Bryant or her family members. It's either directly through yourself or through a third party. You're not to be within 500 feet of the residence, school, or place of employment. Again, I'm assessing $130 for the crime victim's assessment and $68 for the state cost. Again, you're going to have to comply with lifetime electronic monitoring pursuant to NCL 75052. All right, moving to file 25000241101FH, again for the offense of criminal sexual conduct, second degree, person under 13, defendant 17 or older. Court is going to sentence you consistent with the sentence agreement to 10 to 15 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. Again, you complete sexual abuse prevention programming or other treatment when you're referred by your agent. Again, you're required to register under the Michigan Sex Offenders Registration Act, comply with all requirements of the Act, which have been stated here previously on the record. You're not to have any verbal, written, electronic, or physical contact with AHLECHE, Dinwiddie, DINWIDDIE, or her family members, either directly through yourself or through any other third party. Not to be within 500 feet of the residence, school, or place of employment. Again, assessing $130 for the crime victim's assessment, $68 for the state costs. Again, using mandatory lifetime electronic monitoring pursuant to 7505210. Moving you to file 25004478001FH for the offense of criminal sexual conduct in the third degree, person 13 through 15. The court is going to sentence you consistent with the sentence agreement 10 to 15 years from Michigan Department of Corrections. Again, you comply or complete, sexual abuse prevention programming or other treatment when you're referred by your field agent, and you'll be required to register as a under the Michigan Sex Offenders Registration Act, terms and conditions that we noted on the record previously. You're not to have any verbal, written, electronic, or physical contact with Jaylen, JAYELYNN White, common spelling, or her family, either directly or through any other third party. Again, you're not to be within 500 feet of your residence, school, or place of employment. Again, assessing $130 for the crime victim's assessment and $68 for the state costs. Additionally, you're to submit to HIV testing and complete counseling associated with HIV and AIDS, and the way of confidentiality and allow test results and medical information obtained from that test being released to the court. And lastly, with regard to file 25006461101FC for the offense of criminal sexual conduct in the second degree, person under 13, defendant 17 or older, again, consistent with the sentence agreement, court will sentence you 10 to 15 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. Again, you complete sexual abuse prevention programming or other treatment when referred by your agent. Again, you're going to be required to register under the Michigan Sex Offenders Registration Act and comply with all requirements of the Act, which has been stated previously on the record. You are not having verbal, written, electronic, or physical contact with Janiyah, JA'NIYAH Butts, or her family, either directly or through a third party. You're not to be within 500 feet of the residence, school, or place of employment. Crime victims assessment, going to set $130 and state costs the amount of $68. Again, lifetime electronic monitoring pursuant to MCL 7505210. So defense has requested waiver of fees regarding court costs and attorney's fees. Do people have a position?
No position, we'll leave it in the court's discretion.
All right, considering the lengthy prison sentence that the court is going to impose and the possibility of restitution being an issue, the court will waive court costs and attorney's fees, considering this deposit is going to be spent in foreseeable future in the Michigan Department of Corrections.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, jail credit. Let's talk about jail credit. All right. Jail credit on file ending file 24223601. Mr. Butts will receive jail credit of 707 days. Jail credit on docket 246232201 will receive jail credit of 531 days. Docket number 25021801 will receive jail credit of 531 days. Docket 2500241101 will receive jail credit of 531 days. Docket 254478 will receive jail credit of 255 days. And lastly, docket 256461101 will receive jail credit of 167 days to his respective Michigan Department of Correctional sentences, noting that the terms and conditions of this agreement are that all of those sentences are to run concurrently. All right. Attorneys, before I get to appellate rights, turn it over to Mr. McPeace.
Thank you, Judge. Just for the record, on file ending in 218, second-degree murder conviction, I know I placed this on the record last time, but all terms of that plea agreement have been satisfied.
Yes. All right. And Mr. McPeace, were there counts being dismissed?
Oh. Yes. Ms. A.J. Ripley is more than great.
Very good. Ms. Ripley, if you could just kindly articulate, you can just do the last four of the respective file number with regard to the counts that are being dismissed consistently with the agreement.
Yes, Judge. Under case 2236, people are dismissing counts 2, 3, and 4 and withdrawing the habitual offender for defense notice. Under case 6232, people are agreeing to dismiss counts 1 and 3 and withdrawing the notice to enhance habitual offender for defense notice. On case ending in 0218, people are moving to dismiss counts 2, 3, and 4, and the notice to enhance habitual offender notice. As to docket number 0241, people are moving to dismiss counts 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and withdrawing notice to enhance habitual for defense notice. And docket number 4478, people are moving to dismiss count 2 and withdrawing notice to enhance sentence habitual offender for defense notice. And finally, in docket number 6461, people are moving to dismiss counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And hold on, that's not right, Judge.
What file are you looking at, Mr. Ripley?
6461. I have it right here. Yeah, it's counts 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. He pled to count 3 and withdraw the habitual offender for defense notice.
That was it, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. The defense, I presume, no objection?
No.
But those counts and enhancements will be dismissed and or withdrawn consistent with the agreements. Mr. Butts, you do have some appellate rights in counsel. Has he been afforded with an appellate rights form?
He has been assigned.
And did he give him an appellate rights form for each one of his files?
Yes.
Great. All right. For purposes of the record, Mr. Butts, because you entered pleas with regard to your 6 cases, you would have 42 days to file an application requesting leave to appeal your various convictions and sentences if you wanted to do that. Mr. Butts, if you wanted an attorney to assist you with those applications and you could not afford an attorney, you have to request an attorney within 42 days to go and appoint you an attorney, provide them portions of the record and any transcripts needed to assist you with those applications. So, Mr. Butts, you will go with the sheriffs here today. They will make sure that you make your way back to the Wayne County Jail, and ultimately you will find your way to the appropriate Michigan Department of Corrections facility. That being noted, attorneys, is there anything additional for today's record?
Not for the people, Judge.
I don't have to do that, Sharon.
All right, we're all going to exit this courtroom in an orderly fashion. You're going to listen to the sheriffs and Brown. They're going to direct traffic with regard to getting out. What I would say is don't move until you're directed to move. Thank you. That will conclude the record.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
The judge just sentenced Jarvis Butts, but honestly, that wasn't enough. Huh? The judge just sentenced Jarvis Butts, but honestly, that wasn't enough. Jarvis just got hit with 35 to 60 years. Now, this was for the crimes that he did to the kids that he was around, but we have to remember, Neziah has still not been found. A lot of people don't even know yet that he has been sentenced. But 35 to 60 years, somebody said that that's not enough time. Now, it was a lot of commotion inside of this courtroom. I'm not going to lie. I didn't watch it live with y'all, but I'm going to update y'all. The grandma got up there, hooting and hollering. People was in the hallway telling her to shut up as she was on the stand. She couldn't even finish reading her statement to Jarvis before the sentencing. So many people got up there saying how they felt about the entire situation. My thing is this, to everybody involved, I still stand in the same place when I say y'all should have did something about it long before this, because it was going on with not only Neziah, it was going on with a bunch of kids around him, including his own. Honestly, if you ask me, I don't care what nobody think or how nobody feel about it. All they asses need to be sitting right next to him and going to do the same amount of time, if not more, just like he need. He has been sentenced. Finally, this comes to a close. Hopefully, we find out about Neziah. It was an update a little while ago about where he last had her, and they went looking. But all I say is this: if you see something, say something. This is a direct reminder of why we have to watch who is around our kids. I'm just here to bring y'all the news. I'm just a messenger.
Jarvis Butts will spend at least the next 35 years in jail for the unaliving of Neziah Harris and the assault of multiple young girls. Now, he was sentenced on today to 35 to 60 years, and what that means is he will do at least 35 years before he could go before a parole board and try to get out. The max he can do is 60 years for these charges. Now, I do want to say about this sentencing, the only person who spoke today that I really cared about was his sister, Tijuana Butts. She got up there and she held herself accountable. She held her brother accountable, and she did not make any excuses. Respectfully and disrespectfully, that family played in Neziah's face her entire life. They deserve to be in jail as well. They deserve to have some kind of investigation going on about them. And I really hate to get personal about a case, but I'm personal about this case. Now, his sister got up there and talked about how she had been actually assaulted before, how she had been touched as a child, and that he knew that, and she can't believe that he actually did that to somebody else. She also mentioned the fact that he did this not only to Neziah, but other kids, including his own kids that have his same face, his same blood, his same name, and he did not care. She also talked about Neziah's last day when she saw her, and she asked her brother who Neziah was, and he made her believe that that was somebody's niece, and she let it go. She said she wished you had had a sign that something was going on so she could have stepped in. Y'all, at this point, I really hope that the other victims in this situation can heal from this and grow from this and know that this is not their fault. Just because you are a victim now, you can heal and become a survivor. Don't let this change your whole life negatively. Let this make you become better. Let this be a reason to push you to become a better person and go far in life. Y'all, once I have some more information regarding any of this, I'll let y'all know. But Neziah, rest in peace, baby.
The sentencing of Jarvis Butts happened yesterday, but we all know that justice won't be served until Shannon gets some. But let's get into it. First, I want to say rest in peace to Neziah Harris. Second, I want to say Jarvis. You want to wear this dang on mask on? Take that mask off. You wasn't wearing a mask when you was trying to get those girls to go in the car, in the room, in the basement with you. You weren't wearing those masks when you were sending explicit photos to underage girls. You were not wearing masks at any of those times. So he shouldn't be allowed to wear a mask now. Now, secondly, I do want to say that Shannon Harris did speak at the sentencing, and girl, you the same girl that said he wasn't in the courtroom when he was in the courtroom. So at the end of the day, go ahead, pick up Shannon Harris so we can get this other part of the story on the road. If you don't know about the Neziah Harris story, Neziah Harris was living with her grandmother at the time when her fake uncle, Shannon Harris, her aunt's boyfriend, started to groom and actually grape her. Okay, with that being said, Neziah Harris' body has never been found. She has been missing for quite some time now, and people are wanting to know, where is Neziah? Now, Jarvis Butts took a plea deal as long as he told them the location of Naziah Harris, and he still got sentenced to 35 to 60 years. Y'all, it's safe to say that he ain't getting out, and I need them to treat him like a pinball machine while he in there. Y'all, what do y'all think about this? Leave it in the comments down below. Y'all, like I said, Shannon Harris, Antoinette, line them all up. I want justice to be served the right way.
So the sentencing for Jarvis Butts was earlier today. But if you are unaware, there was an active shooter situation in Michigan, and so they cut the feed to the actual sentencing. Besides the fact there was an issue inside of the actual courtroom during sentencing. Why people act like they never been in a courtroom, I don't know. But there was an incident where two different women were yelling at each other. They kicked both of those women out and then continued on with the actual sentencing. Now, they did start a little bit late. I don't know why it took Jarvis so long to get up out their doggone cell, but they did start a little bit late. And that was that. Now, as we know, he did go ahead and accept a plea deal for the Naziah Harris case. And then there were 5 other cases that he was associated with that he accepted the plea on, and on all of them. So he took multiple deals wrapped in one. I guess they don't want to see him back again, but I'm sure somebody will come back from somewhere. All right. Now, the grandmother, Annette, got up to speak. She could not even finish her statement that she was providing to the court. They had to have the attorney finish reading it, and then while she was giving her actual speech is when they had to kick those 2 ladies out. After that, Marquetta spoke, which was Shannon's twin sister, and she gave her little spiel, and then his sister, Jarvis' sister, came up to do her, spiel, and then after that is when the cameras cut. In the middle of her giving her statements to the court, the cameras were cut during that. So he was sentenced to 35 to 60 years on the sentence for Naziah Harris, and then 10 to 15 years on those other ones. They are all concurrent, so 35 to 60 years. Now, he did provide his statement to the court prior to, I have to assume, because they did not go back over it. And again, the camera was cut off, so we don't know. That, he had told the court where her body was. And as far as we know, it was in that same place he had already kind of mentioned before, and they still have not found her. So at this point, is honestly giving, we will never find her body. But you never know. Things always happen where bodies end up being found later on. So honestly, that is my personal hope, is that it'll just, take some time, and then we will eventually end up being able to find her, give her the proper, send off that she deserves, regardless of when and or if we find her. So unfortunately, that is that case. I don't think anybody feels like this is a win. I know I personally don't feel like it's a win. I feel like this is injustice to Naziah Harris and to the other victims of Jarvis. So unfortunately, that's just sometimes how the cookie crumbles, that the plea deal needs to be taken so that we don't have to spend more money on people that don't deserve to have a dime spent on them. So, that is that.